Hi there, Patricia here. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and a treble crochet. So if you haven't seen my lesson on how to do the basic setup, doing tension and doing chain stitches, you want to go back and do that, watch that. So I'm going to start by creating my slip knot, and I've left a nice long tail. And so for this, we're going to do a really small sample. So you're going to want to chain 10 and do this foundation chain really loose. Sort of pull the yarn through, make the loop kind of big. And the reason for this is when you're crocheting, this first row needs to be quite loose because otherwise it'll be tight compared to the other stitches. So by doing it really loose, it will help your garment hang nice and square and not sort of pull in at the bottom. If you have any experience with crocheting, you'll notice if you do this first row too tight, the whole thing will pull in at the bottom. So we're going to do 10 and do them very loose. Always setting up your tension as I showed in the previous video. So there's 10 very loose stitches, chains. Then what you're going to do, we're going to do a single crochet. And patterns will tell you how many stitches to make for your turning chain. So for your turning chain, we're going to do chain 1, and we're going to work back this way. And you're going to work into the top post here. When you do a chain stitch, you essentially have 3 loops, your back posts and then 2 front posts. So there's 3 altogether. So you're going to work just into that top front post. So now you've chained 1, you're going to skip that turning chain and you're going to crochet into the next chain. So you put your hook into the top post, you're going to grab your yarn, pull it through that stitch. Now you have 2 stitches on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 stitches. That's your first single crochet. Then you're going to go into the next post, working into the top. You're going to grab your yarn, pull it through, yarn over and through the 2 stitches. And again, into the top post, bring the yarn through, yarn over and through 2 stitches. And you're just going to do that all the way along. And this is just a really small sample piece. So you're going to take that all the way to the end and just practice that. You'll get the hang of it and it'll go really quickly. So stitch into the top post, bring the yarn through 2 stitches, through the top post, grabbing your yarn, yarn over, through 2 stitches. And now we're at the very first chain here. So you can see there's the knot. So you want to make sure to get into that first stitch. And there you go. And now you've done your first row of single crochet. So in some patterns, depending on how they write the pattern, if your next row is going to be a single crochet, they'll say chain 1 and turn, or turn and chain 1. But for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And this is where a lot of beginners get confused. They get confused where to put their hook in when they go along. I've seen some tutorials where they show to start your work in this very first turning chain. And some people do that, and I suppose that's fine, but the best way is to go into your first stitch, not the turning chain. But no matter what, the thing is to be mindful at the beginning that whatever you decide to do, you stay consistent. So if you're going to go into this stitch, then when you get to this side and turn, you want to make sure you want to crochet back into this stitch and not the turning chain. you don't want to come into this side and crochet here because your whole piece will start to go wonky. So whatever you decide to do, keep it consistent. So we're going to not crochet into the turning chain, we're going to crochet into the first stitch. And the other thing for this demonstration, I'm always going to be crocheting into the 2 top posts. Some patterns may ask you to crochet either into the front post or the back post. And if they don't say to crochet into either the front or back post, then assume you're crocheting into both posts. So you put your hook in under both posts, grab your yarn, yarn over and through the 2 loops. And then again, your hook under both posts, bring your yarn through, yarn over and through both loops. And again, and just doing it like that. By going through either the one post or the other, the front or the back, that actually creates a pattern. So by doing it this way, you're just staying consistent. So this is a really basic stitch, but you can actually crochet a lot. You could actually make an entire cardigan with this stitch. It's a very nice and basic stitch. You can make all kinds of things. So we're coming to the end here. So here you want to make sure you go into that first stitch of that row. And there you go. So that is your single crochet. We've done a row of chains, 1 row of single crochet, and another row of single crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet. And that, because the stitch is taller, our turning chain is going to be chain 2. So chain 2 and turn. And again, you're not going to go into the turning chain, you're going to go into the first stitch. So do a half double crochet, yarn over, put your hook through those 2 top posts and pull your yarn through, and you'll have 3 stitches on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. And that's a half double crochet. So again, yarn over, go into the top 2 posts, pull the yarn through, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Again, yarn over through the next stitch, pull it through, yarn over and through all 3 loops. And that is your half double crochet, and it's a lovely stitch. You can actually create a whole garment out of this stitch as well. But in most cases, you're going to be using a combination of all these stitches. And these are your very basic stitches. And if you know just these, as I say, you can go a long way with crocheting. So carry on to the end of your sample row here. All 3, and you have 1 more stitch. Always make sure to get that last stitch. The last one can always be a little bit of a tighter stitch, and pull through all 3. So there you go, and that's 1 row of half double crochet. So now we're going to do a row of double crochet. So here you're going to chain 2, and some people chain 3, and it really depends on how you crochet. In this case, I'm just going to chain 2 here and turn your work. And now you're going to yarn over again, the same as before. Again, don't go into the turning chain, go into the first stitch. So yarn over, go through both posts, bring the yarn through, yarn over, and come through just 2 loops only. And then yarn over and through 2 loops. And that's a double crochet. So again, yarn over into the next stitch. You have 3 loops, yarn over, you go through just 2, yarn over and through 2. And again, yarn over into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over through 2 stitches, yarn over through 2 stitches. So you can see how easy this actually is. And as I say, with these few basic stitches, you can create a lot of fun stuff. And so you can see how your single crochet is a very short stitch in height. Your half double crochet is a little bit taller, and your double crochet is even a little bit taller than that. So we'll just go to the end of this and we'll turn and I'll show you how to do a treble crochet. Now that's an American treble crochet. UK treble crochet is actually a double crochet. So, but here I'm referring to the American terminology. So you could make a scarf actually with just these stitches, doing like single, half double, double, treble crochet, and you could do a whole scarf in that, just practicing all these stitches. That would be pretty cool. So there's just one more here. Again, that last stitch is sometimes kind of tight. So that's the end of that row. So now we're going to do the treble crochet. And for that, you're going to chain 3. And again, some crocheters chain 4 for the treble crochet. But I chain 3. So you wrap the yarn around your hook twice. And then going back into the first stitch, not the turning chain, but the first stitch, put the through, bring your yarn through. You now have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And you can see how tall that one is. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, pull your yarn through, there's 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. And so yarn over twice, through the top of the stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. And you can see how tall that is compared to the others. So we'll just keep going, yarn over twice, and yarn over twice. And so I recommend just practicing all of these stitches, and you can do a sample of just say all a single crochet sample, do one with all half double crochet, and practice all the different stitches, or as I say, you know, it'd be fun to just make a scarf and practice all of them, changing them as you go. So if you use this pattern, then your next row would be a row of single crochet. You may do 2 rows of single crochet and then half double and double and then treble. And you can mix it up any way you like. And here we're coming to the last one, so yarn over twice. Make sure to get that last stitch in there. And there we go. And see how nice that is, and nice and square, and so this is 10 stitches here. So if you wanted to do a scarf, you might want to do 25 chain stitches to get the width that you want. And then, yes, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, and then start with a single crochet and just do that all the way through. And once you get to the end, you just cast off by yarning over, pulling the yarn through, you cut that off and pull it all the way through, and there's a little knot right there. And there you go. And that's your little sample piece. And then what you're going to do is darn these in. I'll be right back. I don't have a darning needle. All right. So you just need to have a darning needle with an eye that's large enough to put your yarn through, and deciding which is your back. In some garments there will be an obvious back. If you're doing something like this, back and forth, you just decide which is going to be your back. So you just take the needle and you just basically weave it back through the stitches, just sort of catching the stitching as best as you can, and then go for maybe an inch or inch and a half and pull it through. And then you want to tug it back because you don't want it to be too tight in there and pull your work together. And then you can turn around and just stitch back into the work again, into the back like this. And you know, this is sufficient. Some people may decide to go back and do it a third time, but that's a personal choice. And that's as easy as that. And there you go. You'll have your nice little sample. That's very basic crochet techniques.